Hello pretties, welcome to Websterl. So today I am giving all the Cruella de Vil vibes and got listed all over my teeth. And it is what it is. I have my painted red nails, my red lip, and that's just what we're doing today. Anyway, today I am doing the makeup collection tag. I believe this was created by Georgia Harris. I personally seen Too Much Dash do this video and also Sarah Rose do this video, but I know there's a couple people have done it. I'm gonna try to look for some videos and post them in the description below, so be on the lookout for that. But all that being said, let's get started. I have the questions here and I'm ready. I actually didn't do too much prep for this, if at all, so fingers crossed we'll get through this relatively quickly. There's only 14 questions. So anyway, how long have you been collecting makeup? According to my spreadsheets, 2018. Pretty straightforward. Also, FYI, talking about 2018, that's when I bought the Jaclyn Hill palette. That's the one that I got this eye look from, and I really like it. I was really impressed with it, so I'm gonna show it off. I just wanted to show you guys because I'm really proud of that eye look. Also, that being said, this was inspired by the I Need a Nude palette from Natasha Denona, but I did it with the Jaclyn Hill palette. Anyway, there's that. What kind of collection do you have? Minimal, utilitarian, aesthetic, historical, etc. This one was hard for me to answer because it's definitely not minimal, not anymore. There's certain categories that definitely are, and then there's some that I feel like I do for the aesthetic, some I do for the sentimental value that could potentially be attached to it, depending of if it's a collab or something like that. I have a lot of eyeshadow palettes that are collabs actually. I think those are like half of my collection. I should actually film a video about that. I think that would be kind of interesting. I'll film that tomorrow. I think that'll be fun. I don't get all of them. I just get the ones that I have some that I care about it to a degree for the person. But I feel like it's gonna be a mix between utilitarian and aesthetic because there's certain categories that are very much so utilitarian. This is what I like. I don't particularly see myself venturing out to try a bunch of different products in this category because I don't really care that much. But there's the categories I feel like it's for the aesthetics, it's for the feels. So I feel like it's a mixture of the two. Moving along. Number 3, are you a completionist? So I had to look that one up. But I think this is supposed to be, from what they explained, when you try to finish a collection and you collect all of them, like all the naked palettes, right, or things like that. No. Pretty straightforward. I'm not, except for Larry Los Angeles. I've literally owned every single palette she's ever come out with from Larry Los Angeles, and I love that formula. I have a similar mentality with Persona Cosmetics, but it's not quite the same. Like, there are things from Persona that I'm like, it's fine. Like, I don't like her little mini palettes that she has. I have no interest, but I've not only have everything from Los Angeles palette wise, but I've had everything she's ever come out with except for her highlighter palette. That's the only thing that I've never owned at any point or did I have an interest in owning, and that's just because I'm not really into highlighter. Not to say that I haven't tried her highlighter formula because I have her powder ones or her loose powder ones and the ones that are in the blush palettes, but that's about it. Everything else I've tried or currently still own. So overall, the answer is no. It's just specifically for that one brand. But she doesn't come out with a bunch of things where it's like overwhelming. She only comes out with like 3 or 4 things every year. So it's not ColourPop. Okay, moving along. And even, sorry, I don't know why I'm still talking about this. And even then, those collections are really small. I think one time she came out with a collection of like 3 lip glosses. No big deal. So like, it's not usually big collections. Okay, I'm done. Let's move on. Next question. What is, number 4. How do you store / organize your collection? I'm actually gonna link a video because I have a video going over like how I store all my makeup. Essentially, quick runabout way, I have a desk, that's what you guys are currently on top of, and I have 2 drawers. That's why sometimes when I do videos or I pull things out, like the whole camera shakes because I'm pulling out, there you go. I'm opening the drawers. I have one drawer where I have all my lip and complexion products, and I have another drawer where I have all my eye products and blush palettes. And that's essentially my entire collection. It's just those two drawers. So I'll leave that link down below. There's been slight changes, but nothing major. It's pretty much the same. Um, Number 5. What is your favorite thing about your collection? My favorite thing about my collection is honestly being able to figure out what it is that I like consistently, because I feel like a lot of times I used to like try a lot of like different things and I wasn't really sure if I even liked it and I was just going through the emotions. But I think what I like the most of my collection is that I currently know exactly what I like, but I have enough variety where I can switch things up depending on my mood, but not too overwhelming where there's like I don't know what to do, there's too many choices. Does that make sense? I feel like I don't know if I made that clear, but I don't know how else to explain it. So we're just gonna move along. um, Number 6. What is your least favorite thing about or something to improve your collection? Give me a second. I think I need to think about that one. BRB. Okay. I think I talked about it a little bit during like my favorite thing, but while trying a lot of things to get to what I do enjoy, I in the process of it bought some things that I come to irritation I don't like highlighter, powder highlighter. I have two powder highlighters that I like, and everything else I'm really just going through the motions. They're fine. I don't hate them. They don't look awful on me. I just don't like them. There's even new products where I'm like, oh, everyone needs to try this kind of product once, and you try it and you're like, it has its moment, but it's not my favorite. And I feel like I find myself in a lot of those situations where I have things that I use every rare occasion just because sometimes I do want to reach for something like that. But then most of the times I just get ignored in my collection. And I don't like that. I don't know how else to say that. All right, let's just move on. Number 7. What is the biggest category of your collection? Eyeshadow. All right. 8. What is the smallest category or the smallest category of your collection? Powder. I literally own 2 powders. I have a loose powder and a pressed powder. That's it. And I don't want any other powders. They work perfectly fine for me. I'm not looking. I'm good. Number 9. Do you have a holy grail in your collection? I actually did pull out 3 items. And this one was really hard for me because I do like to switch things up. But I have 3 things that I've really come to enjoy. Not necessarily all of them are other people's favorites, but I have the e.l.f. HD powder. I really love this powder because I have really, really dry skin. And this is just enough where it sets my under eye, but not enough where it dries me out. So I really enjoy this powder and I've repurchased this time and time again. One that's a relatively newer holy grail for me is the Milani concealer. This is the most full coverage concealer that I've yet to find. If you know something that's really full coverage, please let me know. But I have extremely dark eye circles. I'm currently wearing the Cosmos one, and you can still see them peeking through, even though I'm definitely wearing color corrector. But when I wear color corrector in combination with this, it's actually not nearly as noticeable, if not noticeable at all. So I actually really enjoy this concealer because of that reason. I just really struggle with my under eyes. And one that I know people either love it or hate it is the ColourPop Tinted Moisturizer. I keep buying it, I keep wearing it, I keep reaching for it all the time. It's just the right amount of coverage that I like. It's the one I'm wearing now. It actually blends into my skin tone pretty perfectly. So I just really enjoy it. I think it's easy to work with and it plays well with others. It's never gone bad on me, and also people say that it goes back quickly, but maybe it's because I use so much of it and I've actually gone through multiple tubes of this. I never had that issue, but I never have my last for more than a year. So I can't, I'm not sure if I'm the best person to ask that. So these are my holy grail products. Do you ever wish your collection was bigger, smaller, or is it complete? I wish my collection was smaller, and I think I mentioned this earlier. The thing is, there's certain things or there's certain categories where I'm like, I want them to be bigger, and even though I want them to be bigger, there's certain things that I wish I didn't have anymore. And I keep telling myself, well, I'm just gonna finish this and I'm done. But then for one reason or another, somehow I end up with something else that I don't quite love in that category. And I'm just like, I guess I'll try to finish this one too. But there's certain things that I wish I didn't have, and I'm just kind of going through the motions, like highlighter. There's certain bronzers I don't really care for, but I'm just going through them because I know I'm gonna eventually finish them because I don't have that many to begin with. So yeah, I wish my collection was smaller. Runabout long answer. um, how often do you declutter makeup in your collection? Not very often. Except for eyeshadow, I honestly 100% believe in my head that I will finish everything that I own. Um, except for the, I guess, the now extension of blush because my blush collection is getting really out of hand. But naturally, normally, I think everything else, I go through lip products relatively quickly. I go through face products relatively quickly. It's really just eyeshadows where I have way too many. There's no way in hell ever finish them. So I don't declutter very often because of that notion. And I like a lot of variety when it comes to blush and eyeshadow. So I don't declutter those parts in my collection either. And I will say though, I don't know about other people, but I normally finish about 2 to 3 blushes a year, which is actually quite a bit because I love blush. So I'm not necessarily in a rush to declutter my blushes either because I do use them quite a bit. Um, yeah, so no, I don't declutter very often. All right. Do you ever get envious seeing other people's makeup collections? No, never. I know this is strange. I think the only thing I wish I could do is because I got into makeup, I feel like a little bit later than other people. I There's certain things I wish I would have had a chance to try, but they're just no longer available. They're discontinued, or if you can find them, they're probably no longer in good condition or expired. And so I just have a harder, like, those are things that I wish I could try it once. I'm not necessarily interested in owning them. Something that I really love to do is watch other people's tutorials with new items that just came out and then try to recreate them with things that I own. Like today, I did that with the I Need a Nude palette, right? I saw this look on the Instagram from Natasha Denona, and I was like, oh, I really like that look. And I did something very similar today with the Jaclyn Hill palette. So I do try to dupe things within my collection as much as I can, just to like kind of refresh myself that I don't need to buy anything. My collection is relatively pared down compared to a lot of other people, especially on YouTube. But I don't feel the need to do that. Does that make sense? I don't feel the need to buy everything. I don't feel the need to see people with new stuff and think I need to buy that. And in fact, usually when I am thinking about potentially buying something, I watch a bunch of videos of people with that items because a lot of times they'll talk me out of buying that thing, and sometimes like maybe I should buy it. I'm like, but let's give myself a deadline. If I still want it after this deadline, then let's go for it. And if I don't, then I'm like, okay, it's passed, we're good, no worries. We made it. So no, I don't particularly get jealous of other people's collections. I'm very satisfied with what I have because I have a lot. And I can almost always duplicate anything that it is that I do want. And I try to do that as much as I can. All right. Where was I? Who on YouTube has the best makeup collection video? This one gives me anxiety. Like, that's the best way I can do it. But it's really good. And that's going to be Paula. What's it called? A beauty guru made me do it. She has really good collection videos. She only does them once a year because she has so much stuff, and quite honestly, she gives me so much anxiety watching her videos. I'm like, how do you have so much? And it also like reminds me, it's like, hey, control. So like, I don't say something else as like possible, Paul. I don't want to end up with a collection that big. It just is too much. You have a convenience store. It's a lot. It's so entertaining, and there's so many products. I'm like, oh my god, I remember when that was a thing. So I really enjoy that. I will say I also really like Jessica Leaks, and that's for a different reason because she also gives you like numbers and like things that she's planning on planning, and she just gives you a lot of information that I enjoy listening to. And I also really enjoy watching her before and after photos, because you'll see she can pan makeup like no one's business. And you'll see drastic changes in her collection from one photo to the next. And I just love seeing those contrasts. So I'm gonna leave them both down link below so you can check them out. I really enjoy their makeup videos. Also for Jessica, there's other collections that are similar, but are not quite related. She has a collection where she goes through not just her inventory, but tells you like the red, yellow, or green categories, which is something that I've decided to adopt into my own makeup collection. So just putting that out there. I just really enjoyed those two. Okay, next one. Last one question actually. What's some advice you'd give to a future makeup collector? I think find a friend who's really into makeup. Like, really find someone who's really into makeup, who already has a relatively large makeup collection. And rather than going completely out of my way to buy all these things and trying all these things for me to just use it a couple times and realize I don't like it, being able to have borrowed or have somebody more experienced tell me these things would have been really helpful. Because there was a lot of times where I bought makeup, like powders, really heavy powders, because that way it was popular online, and hated it on myself. Or bronzes are really popular online, hated it on myself. Foundation styles that were really heavy and just absolutely hated it on myself. So having someone who knew who knew better to have like shown me the way would have been very helpful. Also in me not buying so many things that I ended up just, I don't want to say hate panning, but not enjoy finishing. That's the best way I can say. So find a friend. I'm sure you have a friend who's into makeup. If you don't have a friend that's into makeup, I can be your friend that's into makeup because I love makeup. Let's talk about it. I'm always into talking about makeup. I like talking about makeup. We created this YouTube channel. I just like talking about it. Let's find what works for you, kind of situation. If it wasn't because I have a career that I make good money off of, I probably would like love to work at Ulta and just like, hey, let's try to figure out what works for you. I love talking about makeup. Anyway, that's about everything for today. Please do not forget to like and subscribe. I'm gonna leave Too Much Tosh as well as Sarah's videos down below, and if I can find the original creators video, I'll post that as well. Lastly, I'm gonna leave Jessica Lee and Paula's make YouTube channels as well, so please check them out. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. I would love to hear your answers to some of these questions if you're interested in dropping that. Like I said, I love talking about makeup, so I want to hear what you guys have to say about your own makeup collection and thoughts. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. I know I said it like 2 or 3 times now. Have a good rest of your day. Bye guys.